Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video on the volume of a sphere. In this video we're going to look at how to find the volume of a sphere, and we're going to answer some typical questions on it. So the volume of a sphere is found by the formula 4/3 pi r cubed. In other words, you find the radius of the sphere, you cube it, you multiply it by pi, and then you find 4/3 of it, and that will give you the volume of a sphere. Okay, so let's have a look at our first question. So our first question says, find the volume of a sphere with a radius 5 centimeters. So here we've got our sphere and it's got a radius, so the distance from the center to the edge, of 5 centimeters. So the volume of a sphere is found by the formula 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're going to do 4/3 times by pi times by 5 cubed. Now how we go about working this out will depend on whether we're working on a calculator paper or a non-calculator paper. Now I've decided my first example will be a calculator question, so we're going to work this out using a calculator, and in my next example we'll use a non-calculator approach. So we want to work out 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 5 cubed. So on our calculator we will press the fraction button, we'll type in our 4/3, so it will appear like this on our calculator, so the fraction with the 4 in the numerator and the 3 on the denominator. Then we'll press right and then multiply, so we'll get our multiplication sign. Then we want to type in pi, so that will be shift and then pi, so it'll appear like that on our calculator. And then finally we'll want to multiply by 5 cubed, so we'll press times or multiply 5 and then cubed. So on our calculator it will appear like so. So 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 5 cubed. And then when we press equals, we'll get our answer of 500 over 3, 500 thirds, 500 over 3 pi. Now that is in exact form. If you press the SD button here, this will convert it from our exact value to a decimal, so it will appear like so. So our answer is 523.5987756 centimeters cubed. Now we may want to round that, so let's round that to 523.6 centimeters cubed to 1 decimal place. So to work out the volume of a sphere, we do 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius cubed. And in this question we had the radius was 5, so we done 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 5 cubed. Okay, let's have a look at a non-calculator question now. So our next question says, find the volume of a sphere with diameter 6 centimeters. Give your answer in terms of pi. Now that part is really common in a non-calculator question. Whenever you're dealing with pi on a non-calculator paper, you'll quite often be asked to leave your answer in terms of pi. And then what that means is, if at the end you had 50 multiplied by pi, you wouldn't start trying to do 50 multiplied by 3.14159 and so on. What you would do is just write 50 pi and leave your answer like that. Okay, so here we've got our sphere and we've got our diameter of 6 centimeters. Now the volume of a sphere is found by 4/3 pi r cubed. 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius cubed. So if the diameter is equal to 6 centimeters, the radius, which is halfway across, would be equal to 3 centimeters. So let's substitute that 3 in for the radius, so we would get volume equals 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 3 cubed. Now this is a non-calculator paper, so we're going to work out our 3 cubed to begin with. Remember our order of operations, do our powers first. So the volume equals 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by, now 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is equal to 9, times 3 is equal to 27, so times by 27. Now we've got the volumes equal to 4/3 multiplied by pi multiplied by 27. Now we know we're given an answer in terms of pi, so that means we want something pi, maybe 50 pi or 40 pi or something like that. So we're going to work out our 4/3 multiplied by 27, or 4/3 of 27. They would be the same thing. You could do 4/3 times 27, or you could do 4/3 of 27. Now when deciding whether to do 4/3 multiplied by 27 or 4/3 of 27, I think I would look at what you got whenever you cube the radius. Now we got 27, which is divisible by 3, so that's why I'm going to work out 4/3 of 27. It'll just be a little bit easier. So 27 divided by 3 is equal to 9, and then 9 times the numerator, 9 times 4 is equal to 36. So equal to 36. So that means that 4/3 of 27 is equal to 36, so we're going to write the volume is equal to 36 multiplied by pi, or 36 pi. And that's it. And make sure you put on our units. Now it was the volume of a sphere, so it's going to be, and we're dealing with centimeters, so it's centimeters cubed. So the volume of this sphere with a diameter of 6 centimeters in terms of pi is 36 pi centimeters cubed. And that's it. Okay, and our last question. Our last question, we've been given a sphere which has a volume of 250 centimeters cubed, and we've been asked to find the radius of the sphere. So in other words, working backwards. So the formula is the volume is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. So 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Now the radius is equal to x, and we know the volume is equal to 250. So we've got 250 equals 4/3 times pi times by x cubed. Now what we just need to do is make x a subject or solve this for x. So multiplying both sides of the equation by 3, well, multiply by 3 and multiply by 3. On the left hand side, 250 times by 3 would be 750. And on the right hand side, well, 4/3 multiplied by 3 is 4. So we would just get 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by x cubed. Now we don't want the 4 or the pi here, so what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 4 to begin with. So if we divide both sides of the equation by 4, we will get 187.5 is equal to pi multiplied by x cubed. Now we don't want the pi here either, so we're going to divide both sides of the equation by pi. So divide by pi and divide by pi. And that will give us 59.68 and so on. I'm not going to write out my whole calculator display, but I'm going to keep that on the calculator, equals x cubed. Now we don't want x cubed, we want x, so we're going to do the inverse of cubing, which is cube root both sides of the equation. So we're going to cube root that 59.68 and so on. So the cube root of that will be 3.90796 and so on, and that's equal to x. So let's write that down. X is equal to let's work it out to 2 decimal places, 3.91 centimeters. So if we had a sphere with a volume of 250 centimeters cubed, the radius of that sphere would be 3.91 centimeters to 2 decimal places. And that's it.